Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Astuti, and here I will explain about genre analysis on reading passages. Okay, let's get started. Genre analysis on reading passages. A. Definition genre. There are some definitions proposed by some linguists about the term of genre, and all of these definitions relate to the texts which have different characteristics. According to M.Pd, first, genre is an organizing concept for our cultural practices. Second, any field of genre constitutes a network of contrasts according to a variety of parameters. Third, genre is a place, occasion, function, behavior, and interactional structures. It's very rarely useful to think of it as a kind of text. Fourth, cultural competence involves knowing the appropriateness principles for any genre, knowing the kind of margin you have with it, being able to vary it, knowing how to shift from one to another, and how many factors would be involved in any such shift. Another definition, genre is a subject that discusses the grouping of text types. In its current application, attention to genre, or what we call variety of text, has significantly increased, especially in analyzing discourse or discourse analysis. For both first language and foreign language teaching, especially in the process of teaching English for specific purpose. There are several understandings of the concept of genre. Many experts over several concepts about it. Genre is really important in reading skill. It will affect the student comprehension in reading skill because it provides the future of a text to help the student identify a text. Understanding genre means that the student is easier to interpret a text because each genre has different social function, generic structure, and linguistic feature. This characteristic is really useful for a reader to understanding a text because it explains how text is organized. According to Alderson, that having knowledge about organized text is as same as having knowledge about how the information is signaled and how change of content might be marked, and it facilitates the reader to read. B. Genre analysis. Genre analysis is a process of looking at several samples of a particular genre to analyze their similarities and differences in terms of their purpose, macrostructure, and language choice. Genre analysis is an analysis used to describe the purpose, characteristic of language, and text pattern and directed at a basic framework. There are three of the approach to genre analysis. A. SWOT approaches. In this approach, focus on the moves and steps analysis within a genre. B. Australian system or functional system method. Focus on the forms and function of language. And the last, new rhetoric. Focus on the intention and effect of language. C. Genre category. First, fiction. Fiction is a genre that is usually a story that requires imagination in its processing. Here are the types of fiction genre. First, sci-fi, 2 horror, 3 fantasy, 4 romance, 5 fun fiction, 6 humor, 7 mystery, 8 historical fiction, and 9 adventure. And the second is non-fiction. Non-fiction is a genre that contains writings that do not require imagination. In this genre, the content of writing usually contains a narrative of scientific authorship, articles, tips and tricks, and historical records. D. Generic structure. Generic structure are a major part of genre. The function of generic structures is to tell the reader how the text was made. According to generic structures, analysis can make you more understanding about the management of genre. English is one of the language that has many types of text. Each text has a generic structure. In general, generic structure is the structure or pattern of presentation in an English text. One of the important things to learn is to know the term generic structure. Generally, generic structure is system or flow of presentation or of information contained in English. Each English text has a different generic structure. A. The term in generic structure. 1. Introduction. The pattern that first appears when you create a text review is introduction. In this initial pattern, the author is asked to explain about the main description of something to be written. 2. Issue. Explain the issue that are being limited, usually things that are easy to cause pros and cons. Opinions agree and vice versa. 3. Explanation. Contains a series of sequence of events from a process that is the topic of the text. And 4. General classification. The term is intended for a general or a general review of the noun being lifted. 5. General statement. Judging from its own meaning, the term expresses an opinion in general. Usually, the general statement is expressed directly by the author as a form of expression about the phenomenon or even race. 6. Interpretation. In the last pattern, a writing will appear about the user's impression when using the product. 7. Abstract. Summary of the story is usually in the form of unusual or odd events in the story to be conveyed. 8. Argument. Statement that support issue as well as unsupportive statement. 9. Background event. Explain how an event is mentioned in the first paragraph. And 10. Newsworthy event. Contains an introduction about who, what, where, and when the event. And the next, conclusion. Conclusion is term is a part of the text in the form of the author's conclusion to the topic raised. And then orientation. The term refers to the introduction in a text. And then reorientation. The author's final statement on the experience that has been done. It's usually an impression or impression. Next, thesis. paragraph containing the author's statement on the matter being discussed. Then, description. This term is present to complete the overall picture of the nouns already mentioned in the general classification. The next, event. Event, this term denotes an event or event told in a text. And the last, evaluation. Evaluation given by the author of the work being discussed. Okay, that's my explanation. Sorry for my mistake, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.